Hi traders, a new video on strategy and psychology brought to you by Admiral Markets. My name is Chris and I'm going to review common themes between trading and sports. Before we do that though, be aware of this disclaimer. Trading for exchange is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor. This video is not advice and is for informational and educational purposes only. And by continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer. All right, sports and trading, of course, they do share a lot of common elements, and most of all, strategy and trading psychology, or psychology in general, because, of course, a lot of sports have that element of strategy in them. For instance, chess, for instance, football, American football, European football. There's a lot of strategy in these involved in these games in sports, and that the same, of course, holds true for trading. Psychology as well, logically, because there's a lot of pressure in sports when playing, at least competitively, and the same holds true for trading. So I wanted to dive a bit more and deeper into why they share these elements and why is it so interesting to compare these two. I like to look at trading from a sports point of view and often refer to defensive and offensive tactics. And I think it's a good way of looking at trading too. It's a term that's more used for sports and defense and offense, but I think it can apply as well to trading, and that's what I want to talk about in this short video. You want to, of course, think about trading plans. It's very important to have a rock solid plan regarding the management of the trade, regarding the entry of the trade, regarding the exit of the trade. So from that point of view, very important to have that very down pat. Now, also we want to think about, of course, defensive tactics in trading, that we limit any inaccuracies. We have a plan, so we want to make sure that that plan is flawlessly executed, and we avoid needless mistakes and costly blunders by having these management and plans and planning and psychology in check. Inaccuracies, of course, mistakes and blunders can happen. But we want to avoid them as much as we can, because at the end of the year, this will add up to a lot of potential profits that we miss. And the management of risk, of course, money and trades tie into that. All right. So ultimately, the evaluations should show how many of those blunders we've had. And this is not a process that will be an overnight miracle. Many traders think that one big win will compensate all the losses or all the mistakes. And sometimes, yes, but we want to make sure that it's a process, that we don't hope for that one win. If it's part of our plan, fine. But we want to realize that one perfect decision should not be kind of the compensation of a do-good process. All right? So that's very important to keep in mind, that our goal is incremental, sustainable improvements. And that is basically improving our foundation for trading. So we need an iron defense, first of all. Now, once we have that set up, then we can focus and continue on offensive things. Then we need to focus on consistency and capitalizing on our edge, finding our edge, then specializing on that, right? Improving that edge, and then creating and using those strengths to, make more profits and to really get into a higher kind of approach of trading. And that's what I call offensive, because defensive is kind of making sure that we have the basic strategy down pat. We know everything. We are well aware of everything. We limit the mistakes. And offensive, we can work on the edge and try to improve that plan as much as we can and really gear up the profits to a higher level. Now, this, of course, is a gradual process, and it's going to be small increments, as I already said. We shouldn't expect home runs. We're going to take some steps forward, some steps back, but eventually the offensive part is going to be added to our trading as well, and we're going to get into a positional advantage and not hope for a lucky win. We can compare this process also basically with the chess game, right? In chess, many victories are achieved due to one player gaining a positional edge over their opponent. This edge is not a miraculous, created out of thin air in one move. Sometimes, yes, when your opponent makes a blunder or mistake, it happens. But most often, when the two players are equal to each other, it's basically one player gets an edge by making small improvements each step, each move. So each decision point, an improvement, kind of an edge is created. And all those decision points add up to one player having an advantage basically compared to the opponent. So yes, your opponent sometimes makes a blunder and you win a match, or I win a match because of that. But if the opponent doesn't make that blunder, then small improvements each step will give the victory at the end of the day. So basically, at one point or another, your defense of the opponent will crack when you put more pressure gradually on that game. All right. So that's basically the offensive side. All right. So basically, to summarize it, defense limits the downside risk, the errors and mistakes, and consistency in our edge is the offense, and that allows us to grow and improve our results. Alrighty. Well, if you're interested in more webinars from Tarantula or myself, take a look at admiralmarkets.com, click on education, and click on webinars, and you can sign up for all of these webinars. Hope to see you then, and wish you all good trading. Cheers.